The next speaker is Professor Anders Karlén, and he's from the Department of Medicinal Chemistry at Uppsala University. And you will talk about an IMI project, which I think really fits this now. So now you can learn everything about how it is to have an IMI project.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation to come here to discuss a little bit about our Enable IMI project. And as Irene already alluded to, antimicrobial resistance is a serious threat to the global public health. There are many ways to approach this. There's not one solution. One way forward is to bring forward new antibiotics. And IMI has put out several calls in this area. And this is a figure from the topic 3 call. And I think this figure very nicely describes what this is all about. Basically, set up a drug discovery hub that can bring programs from early stage all the way through phase 1 clinical studies. And this involves several different competences, already very basic science, but also doing clinical trials with humans. An extra ingredient in this call was that there was two subtopics, 3A and 3B. So we focused on this subtopic, and there was also a call out to bring in Europe together programs with already existing molecules that could be brought forward. This is the different stages in an IMI project. So Irene already discussed this slightly. We have a 2-stage process. Stage 1 is where the public partners comes together and writes their proposal. And then the winners, then together with the industry, writes the full project proposal. So I think a difference here as compared to Horizon 2020 is there's only one group going forward at this stage. This is the timeline for our endeavors in this field. So December 12, the call came out, and the call is defined by the pharmaceutical industry. So they set up the criteria. Then the public partners bring in their expression of interest, and the deadline was March 19. A month later, we learned that we were ranked number 1. And there were actually then 2 topics. There were 2 groups that were ranked number 1. So in this marriage, we were three partners. That was also very interesting. So then we started together working on the full project proposal. We handed that in July 26 and went through, again, evaluation and approval by the external reviewers. Having that positive result, we then began contract negotiations and putting it all together. So the total time for all this was a little bit more than a year. So what are the important ingredients for a successful application? I think first of all, you need to, of course, have a scientific excellence of your partnership. At Uppsala University, we have a Faculty of Pharmacy and a Faculty of Medicine. At the Faculty of Pharmacy, we have long tradition in drug discovery, drug development. Actually, Faculty of Pharmacy are managing entity for 3 IMI 1 topics. So we have the basics in the drug discovery and development, and the Faculty of Medicine are very strong in microbiology. This is, of course, a good marriage. And we had, before this call, had a group interested in antimicrobial resistance, discussing and talking. So when this call came out, we had the cornerstone, the foundation to really quickly start building our consortium. We would never have succeeded without our grant office. They really brought in a lot of help in doing economies, the budgets, helping us in the overall outline of how the call and how the application should be written. Personally, I had been previously involved in a FP6 and FP7 project on tuberculosis. So I had an experience, and I think that was one of the reasons for me to step up as a coordinator of this. I think it made it a little bit easier. IMI calls are they give the skeleton, what the pharmaceutical industry would like to see in order to accomplish the goals set out. And so what we then needed to go out was to find partners to bring in the competences to fill all these different groups or competences. And in our first expression of interest, we were 11 academic institute hospital organizations and 8 SMEs, making up 19 different partners. Of course, we also put a lot of thinking around how we would manage this consortium. Since this was a marriage with another group, so we finally became 31 partners. So this is a public-private partnership. So the public side then consisted of Uppsala University as the managing entities, 12 academic institute hospital organizations, 5 nonprofits, and 14 SMEs. The 14 pharmaceutical companies were GSK, Sanofi, AstraZeneca, and Basilea. So together we were 35 partners, and we are growing because since we need to process new programs all the time, we will bring in new partners, and this is quite a challenge. We launched February 2014. We have a 6-year runtime to accomplish our goals. The projected budget is 101 million euro. And as I've already told you, the goals are to create this platform and to bring at least one compound through phase 1 studies. And you can see the geographical distribution of the partners in this map. So we are not so many in Sweden. We are in Uppsala and Stockholm. So lessons learned. IMI is all about collaboration. It's a public-private partnership. So by uniting the public side with the private side, hopefully we get something stronger than each partner working by themselves. We're also sharing risks, which I think is very important in this area. I think that it's very stimulating working with our FPI partners. They bring in a lot of knowledge, which we lack in academia, which make the project much more efficient, moving much more quicker forward. They also bring in very good project management skills and expertise, which is needed for running such a large project. And they're very good at keeping timelines and so on. Being a managing entity and a public coordinator requires a strong administrative backup. You really need a dedicated grant office that helps out with the economy, and you need a legal backup at the university because there's a lot of legal documents. There's CDA, MTAs, and so on. And you also need to help out SMEs coming in lacking these grant office. So they need support in maneuvering through the jungle of documents and things to do to become a new partner. So that was my quick glimpse of the Enable project.
Thank you very much, Anders. And here's your gift. I must say I am, 35 partners and counting.
Yes.
A little bit. 101 million euros. Must be scary to have that kind of a budget. I mean, it's my tax money.
It's your tax money, and we are always thinking about, to make the best use of this. And I think it's a constant thing we're thinking about. Yes.
Yes, and then I would like to give the same question that I gave to Åke. Is this because you said that you have experience from FP6 and FP7? And having this big project with a large budget as this and so many participants, is it something you would recommend being managing of these type of projects if you haven't had the previous experience before?
I think it helps to have that previous experience, but you can definitely do without. I think you need to step down from a little bit of your duties that you've been involved in previously. So you really need to put your effort into this. It's a challenge, but it's great fun. So definitely, if you're given the chance, do it.
You also say it's fun?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
I mean, you get enormous network, and you learn a lot, and you work with a bunch of enthusiastic people, and you're really doing something that's, in this case, very much worthwhile to bring a new antibiotic. I mean, that's the aim.
That's good. I just want to ask a question about the industry, because you work so closely to the industry, and you said that it's good because they have project management and timelines and stimulating, you said, and they move fast and so on. But to me, it seems like then you're two different cultures sort of clashing. I mean, being a researcher, don't usually have the timelines and project managements and so on. How does that work? Do you have an agreement not to be mad at each other, or is it?
No, we don't have that agreement, and it is our project is a little bit special because if you come in as a partner with a new project, you usually would imagine that you get funding for 2 years and then you go back and you work on your thing. But in our project, we have evaluations every 3 months because it's a drug discovery and development project. So each program needs to be evaluated every 3rd month, and then they can be terminated. So basically, you can come in as a partner and you only get funding for 6 or 9 months if your project doesn't survive. So it doesn't really fit for PhD students, so you really need to have a more stable base of scientists.
The researchers.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that's interesting, because otherwise different cultures tend to clash. And you don't tend to look at it as something positive.
I think that there's a lot of medicinal chemists in this project, and medicinal chemists often work with industry, so they know each other's culture, and I have not seen this problem.
Okay, good. So you're used to it in a way.
It goes very well, I think.
Okay. Well, thank you again.
Thank you.